Hi guys, this is Sheila. Welcome to week 2, day 2 of the 2002 Inspiring Photography Challenge. So today we're going to keep right on the same path as we've been on for the last week, and we're going to be concentrating on composition. And the composition that we're going to be looking at is going to help us bring that attention or that emphasis to our subject. And today's topic is blurring the background. Now, I know all of you have seen images that have the background blurred. And when you look at that, it's almost like the subject of the image is popping off the page. The only thing you look at is the subject because there's really nothing to look at in the blurred part of the image, but somehow that blur just enhances the image so much more. Now, let's talk about that blur. That blur is called bokeh, and the word bokeh comes from a Japanese word, and that Japanese word meant blur. I don't know how to say the Japanese word because, well, I don't know any Japanese. So maybe one day we'll figure it out, but I did Google it, and I tried to go to the translator and see if the translator could say it for me, and it didn't work. So you may have also heard it called bokeh. Some people like the name bokeh because bokeh sounds a lot prettier. I personally have just always used the word bokeh. So if you hear someone saying the bokeh in the image, that means the blurred background. And that blur is sometimes the most beautiful blur. It helps to create a very gorgeous image with all of the focus on your subject. So how do we create blur? Well, I'm trying to keep this challenge more of a how to create images to see more like a photographer. I'm trying not to get too technical. I know that some of you are not interested in the technical side of things, but I do know that some of you are. So what I'm actually talking about with the blurred background or the bokeh is depth of field. So depth of field is all controlled with our aperture. And the more blur, that means the wider your lens is open. That means the smaller the f-stop that you set on your camera. So if you have your f-stop set up, turned way up, as far as it'll go for the lens that is on your camera, you're probably getting a pretty clear scene. From you to infinity is going to be as clear as can be. So today we want to create the blur. We want the bokeh. We want to have that enhance our subject, draw attention to our subject. We really don't want the background to be seen for whatever reason. Maybe where we're creating the image, the background is undesirable. And so making a blurry background makes it look like you're somewhere beautiful, not someplace that's not so attractive. But back to the point, how do we create that? Well, most of that depends on the lens that you have on your camera and the f-stop on your camera. You know, if you've got a 1.4 f-stop or a 1.8 or a 2.8, if you can adjust your lens that it opens that far, you're going to create a really nice bokeh in your image. So you're going to have to play with that a little bit. Now, if you're using a cell phone, there is a thing on the cell phone called portrait mode. And portrait mode automatically adds that bokeh in. It changes the f-stop on the lens that's on your phone. I've tried it a couple times and it's not too bad. Of course, it's not as good as my regular camera, but it'll do in a pinch for sure. So today's assignment is create blur in your background. Help put emphasis on your subject by creating blur. So good luck. If you have any questions or you would like an extra explanation or you need any help of any kind, please just reach out. You know me. I'm always willing to share. So I look forward to seeing those images, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.